with Jason Simmons, and we are getting a private tour of Eden Park. Let's take a look.
All right, let's go. A sports and lifestyle center, and it's really centered around sports, youth sports, kind of the best sports you can provide for your kids, youth, adults as well. And so the whole point is that we've got, action sports and something for everybody, a little relaxation.
That's amazing.
Yep, exactly. It's all about keeping the family in one location for 8 hours, not 1 hour. And so when mom or dad are dropping them off for this type of practice or that sport or training or whatever it is, now they have something to do for them.
Now, is the pool area, and I know this is all very...
Conceptual still,
conceptual.
Absolutely, nothing's approved.
Would that be membership or...?
So the pool will be part of the fitness gym, but we hope to put in a 50-meter pool and have that be, we're working with the school districts right now to potentially work with them to have a spot for water polo and swimming, because there's not in San Marcos right now. It's a need. So
yeah.
The whole point of Eden Park is to try to fill the needs of the community and then wrap in retail, office spaces, services around that, because the sports uses are not really your moneymaker, right? But they're a huge community service, and they also bring good footfall for people to stay here. Now they don't have to drive 6 places,
Yep.
sports, and you went all over town, right?
Mm-hmm.
Gina has to drive 3 kids all everywhere. It's insane. So now it'll be all in one location.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and so the idea is that we're completely, it's working with the neighborhood as well, so all community partners, and then an app will run everything, so you'll be able to even find out where your kid is and that kind of thing. The pools will be able to do like a day rate. It'll be like a smaller version of La Costa Resort.
Okay.
And then we're off the grid with our energy. We have solar on it's 200,000 square feet of roof currently here. And so all solar there. And then even more efficient than that is a thing called a microturbine, which is gas powered, and you have to cool that. And when you cool that, it heats the water, and now you don't need hot water heaters. So you can heat your pools, your showers, all your hot water heaters.
Green.
It's very green. Yes.
Very cool.
Yeah. So we're off the grid. We'll produce enough energy for this entire development and even some a little extra. Yeah.
I'm pretty impressed, Jason.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool project. Yeah. So we let's walk it a little bit and talk. Let me give you a little vision for what we're gonna have. You drove in. Let's orient ourselves here. Drove in here, past the little shacks, right? Mm-hmm. And then this is the 15 acres that we're going to be walking today. That little triangle there as well is part of this 15-acre property. Includes that.
Okay.
And so the entryway is actually owned by the county of San Diego, and we'll be putting parking along it and redeveloping it really nice. And then we're going to put a traffic light in there eventually. This is once we get the entitlement. This will be a traditional retail area with kind of a nice entry here. You can see the metal. You can really take it, just peel it off and put glass. Mm-hmm. And then you've got more traditional retail. Yeah. And there'll be open air. We can walk in and talk. The light in here is not super great, but we can still video sound. Yeah, so this is 15,000 square feet. This is a small building. I call it small, medium, large. So this is the small one. We'll have open here, so we'll kind of tear the roof off a little bit and have like sun coming through, and then shops on the other side, right? And so, and then glass on the outside there, and you'll be able to park right up against the outside on that side. But that'll be a promenade out front, like kind of like where you can go and sit and relax. And then we're using a lot of sea containers throughout this. It's a really efficient way to develop something, because if you have, let's say you have a sea container that has a restaurant in it. Mm-hmm. Well, if the restaurant wants to be in a different spot around the property, pick up the sea container and move it to that spot.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're gonna do a lot of that indoor-outdoor type of retail.
Now, what are you, time frames? When do you think all this will be completed once the city gives you all?
So once hopefully the approvals from the city will come in about a year from now, after we get all of our studies done and everything goes through that, and then it takes about 6 more months to start construction. So we hope to start construction by the end of next year and be fully operational by the end of 2021.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. paint alone was like $1,000. So this will be indoor sand volleyball, really unique to San Diego County. There's really no facility like this. So yeah. So it's loud and crazy here when they're filled up and doing their thing. This is all temporary, by the way. So everything you see here will actually be torn out in a year and a half. And when we move to the next building, we put a real floor for the whole facility. So you can see everything's kind of mobile, so if we need to move it out of here or switch it around, or the whole point is like create something that is flexible in use. Yeah, and with the fitness gym, it'll be a higher end fitness gym that will hopefully have a lot of, obviously we want the San Elijo residents, but the idea would be the general 5-mile radius. They come and they can spend all day here with their family.
Now, price-wise,
don't know yet what that price will be, but it'll definitely be on the higher end towards the Equinox type of thing, but not quite that high probably. But it'll be a nicer fitness gym. It'll offer a lot of amenities to come with it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So instead of building that pool in your yard, save that $100,000. Buy a membership here, bring the whole family all day, and you get all the other amenities there.
And then you get to see all your neighbors and all your friends.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's the whole point: is the social environment. Meeting the kind of physical virtual world, so that you have both virtual interactions with your app and kind of understanding you can do a lot with that, but then go and actually meet people in real life and communicate that on that level.
Important.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of access with some stairs, and then that's where parents will spend. Now it's a little cramped, but it'll open this up a little bit and feel a little less cramped.
More bleachers?
Yeah, it'll be bleachers on top of a mezzanine, and then that'll actually be open to the other side.
Very cool.
Yeah, so you'll be able to.
Is that the next building over?
That's it. This is the medium-sized building. Now we'll check out the big building.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how many square feet is this building?
This one is 60,000 square feet, so
And the other one is 15,000?
That's 15, the small one. Yeah, and we're gonna go into the 75,000.
So, wow. Okay. It's a 45,000 square foot difference.
Yes.
And that one seemed pretty big too.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, and there's no, as you see, there's no columns. So this is very interesting how this space levels. It looks a little strange because it almost, with this metal and kind of interesting looks, but this was, obviously it was industrial look back then, but we're going to be tearing out all the metal, but repurposing it and turning them into art pieces throughout the facility. Everything, trying to keep everything on site. So everything we tear off, we're going to just do something with it on site. Yeah, we have a bunch of concrete in the back that we're going to use as our base. So even though there'll be stuff coming off of it, it's a true repurpose and try to stay as sustainable with it as possible. So.
Actually, great.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So right now that's where the
You are recycling.
We are. Exactly. We're finally recycling here.
Finally doing it.
Yeah. Exactly. So we'll pop.
Wow.
That's the typical reaction.
75,000 square feet.
With 75-foot clear heights. I mean, when we build in here, anything we build in here, we'll be building a building within a building. So we'll have a raised floor that we put down, and then we envision 3 floors right here in front of you this way, using columns next to those columns, and then 3 floors of uses on those. They'll each have 18 to 20 foot clear height, so we can still do sports if we want inside those uses. But what we're currently envisioning is co-services spaces, which is basically like one entry with a receptionist, but you might have your dentist, your doctor, your physical therapist, some recovery, all those little hairstylists, all in one space. So I call it co-services.
Who needs to leave the town?
The whole point, right? You never need to leave. Yeah. And you could literally spend all day. You can book your appointments on Friday and just spend the whole day here, and then meet friends, and afterwards. Or,
Have a nice dinner.
Yeah, have your when your kid gets bussed down here, you're already here, whatever. So it's that's definitely the whole point. And then co-working space, and then some other sport use. We're talking to some gymnastics people, maybe dance, something like that, along with that. And then a public market in the middle. So this will all the metal will come off, and be repurposed somewhere. And then if you get to this where we actually call it being like on grade, then it'll open up with like glass lever doors, and so then you kind of go in and out that way, so it really feels open. And again, because we're building a building within a building, we're going to do an indoor-outdoor public market. It's in here, but it's going to feel like it's outdoors. And then a trampoline park, or on some sort of ropes course type of thing for kids and birthday parties and all that kind of fun stuff.
You're amazing.
It's a pretty cool concept,
That is
yeah.
so cool.
Yeah, and then hopefully, as long as the county allows us to, we'll have daycare, preschool facilities happening. And the idea is that now you could say, hey, I'm gonna put my kid in preschool, right? He's 4 years old, she's 4 years old, but you'll be able to, you know, this week I wanted to learn how to be on the trampoline and do tumbles. Or I want to learn how to swim, or I want to pay a little extra for that. And so you can actually take kids and put them all around the spaces when the spaces aren't being used at 10 o'clock on a Tuesday.
I bet you that nothing is like this anywhere.
There's really nothing like it anywhere, probably in the world. So this will be one of a kind. This whole space here, 2 stories, we'll have 2 stories there, will be the fitness gym.
Okay.
So, and that'll look out to that all be glass. It'll be great views back there. It'll overlook the aquatic center and just be a really, you know, beautiful gym. As well, and then we're talking about like a virtual golf that would also double as like, you know, karaoke space and kind of private little small party space, so you can come and do some adult fun stuff as well, you know, while your kids are
So you're
being
currently
watched.
looking for people and
We are.
investors and stuff like
Yeah,
that?
investors, tenants, you know, future partners. I mean, everyone's kind of a partner in this, you know, community's a partner and
Yeah, that's
city's a
awesome.
partner and, you know, future tenants and investors, absolutely.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, yeah, we're excited. So, to a gentleman about right now, and he's got a really cool concept about doing a kind of a tree right in the middle. So this will stay open, the middle,
Yeah.
but these 2 will have floors. So when you come in, you'll still feel kind of indoor-outdoor.
And that will be
There'll be solar on the roof, and then lots of light coming through,
Okay.
natural light. Living wall stuff growing around, like wrap the columns with green stuff,
Yeah.
you know, cool things that just make sense and, you know, create some more vibrancy in here and uniqueness. Yeah, yeah, it's
Wow.
good. So these were old shredders that used to shred the trash, and then there was conveyor system that went all the way throughout, and then the trucks drove through these buildings to pick up the trash. So that, of course, hasn't happened in 25 years, but so we want to. This will be the aquatic center here, 50-meter pool. But the goal is to try to repurpose as much of this as possible as well. If we take down the concrete, we'll reuse it throughout as our base for the promenades and whatnot. But one of the ideas we have, there's a giant tank over here, right there. That's a 320,000 gallon water tank. Yeah, it was originally the backup water for fire suppression, which is not really needed anymore because there's no trash here, there's no flammables here. So, so we're looking at how to repurpose that as a dive tank, which would be really interesting to scuba diving and training, because it'd be 2 atmospheres, so you get to the second pressure, which is very unusual. There's only a few places in the world that have something like that. So, and it's full of water right now, 320,000 gallons. Yeah, crazy, right? That's the old. It's not old. It's still functional. This here is the substation that puts energy back on the grid. Yeah, and we can add a structure if we need more parking.
I'm still in awe over the diving.
The
That
diving
is such an amazing idea
Right.
that can come to life.
Yeah, and we're talking to some Hollywood people because apparently they need for shooting movies, like controlled areas for diving as well. So,
Jason,
and hopefully we can.
you're on it.
Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
we're creative. That's for sure.
Very
You have to be
creative.
creative with a space like this. You can't
Yes.
really think one-dimensionally. So you're gonna, if you think I'm creative, wait till we get over here. So this is really unique space. So this one we're gonna keep for sure.
This round.
Yes, this cylinder here. And so our plan for this is there'll be a bridge across, so you'll be able to go to the fitness gym, and there'll be a spiral staircase in between it, and there'll be platforms around it, and there'll be a climbing wall on it, hopefully. And then when you get to the top of it, on a separate staircase for the kids that want to go, we'll have a water slide at the top that goes down into the recreation pool. So that's creative. Now, I don't know if any of that's actually going to happen, but that's a creative idea. Yeah. The kind of interesting stuff we're trying to do. So we want to try to keep this on the same floor level as the basketball volleyball. So we're going to take our extra dirt and put it here so that you've got the same level all the way to about where we're standing, and then there'll be stairs down from there. So imagine it at the same level as where the basketball volleyball level is over there, and you kind of see it's that second level, but here it'd be the 1, 2, 3rd line up. So it's pretty, well, so the idea is to really have that be its own space up there, and then this drops down and everything down here is on its own space. It's like a level. So that's level 1.
Okay.
You know, kind of, or this would really technically be level 1 over here, right? And then that's the upper level.
Got it.
Lower level, upper level. And then in between that, we're leaving it the same ground level it is now, even a little lower. And there'll be a little amphitheater where you can show movies, and they'll just be like on steps and stuff. And then there'll be a underneath little walking bridge so you can walk from right here. It's kind of hard to envision right now, but it's basically like this. And in between, on the wall, you'd show movies, have a little outdoor concert, you know, just for like 50, 100 people, nothing too big. But, and then again, sea containers with little shops around that. So it's like a little outdoor, kind of cool little promenade. Let's see, I've been working on it for about 4 years. You know, it took a while to get into the escrow and the pre-planning, but we're still in conceptual stage, and that's just how long development takes these days in California.
Once it's done, and just the proactiveness that you're doing for our community too,
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
it's just going to be amazing
Yeah,
once everything comes to life.
Well, so part of the goal is that with all of these youth sports happening and now that we actually have kids, right now, for example, our water polo team has to, you know, practice at either like 9 at night or at Palomar, really late at night or super early in the morning. And once they have a real home and you've got kids starting at a really young age, where they can have one spot to grow up in San Marcos, so that instead of playing for Vista and Escondido and all these other clubs, they would be in one space. So maybe there's a chance for them to develop as a team a lot stronger. But secondly, that as an athlete, you know, as kind of a whole person mentality. So that's kind of the whole thing about Eden Park. We'd love to have an Olympiad, someone in the Olympics, you know, from Eden Park who grew up here in the 2028 Olympics when they come to the United States, Mexico, Canada. So that's kind of one of our.
And how did you come up with the name Eden Park?
You know, it's just part of the concept was like being the center of a community and where community begins. So Eden, you know, Garden of Eden stuff, and then Eden Park, because it's just a big sports park lifestyle center. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Shows this is really why this is such a great property. Let's see here. Oh, there it is. Oops. So this graphic shows, this is our 5-mile radius, right? And so you can see there's the site in the middle. And you can see that this is all really undeveloped and mostly will stay undeveloped. So that portion, so that's really the radius you're talking about. And it's lots of master plan communities, but these are all dots for 40 schools. So there's 40 schools in a 5-mile radius for school-age children. 28,000 school-age children just in that radius. So that's a lot of kids. That's how many kids we have right here. And so that's the point, right? It's right
on a 5-mile radius.
That's it. And now we haven't even included college students. There's 43,000 college students.
Oh, you don't have.
No, that's not college. That's just school age, 12, you know, K through 12. So 43,000 college students. So obviously, it's Cal State San Marcos, Palomar, and then there's lots of like, you know, St. Augustine's and schools like that that are more specific. But still, I mean, the fact that we don't have anything like this.
I don't even think you're including preschools.
Nope, that doesn't include preschools. No, this is only K on.
K on.
Yeah.
Wow.
So preschool. There's I mean, who knows how many more kids there are. Obviously there's, you know, lots of people having babies around here.
Everybody's having more than 2.
Yeah. Oh yes.
You know.
Yep.
It's like you're saying 4 is more normal now.
I know. Yeah.
Which is crazy.
I know. Yeah. Yeah. it's a vision right now. It's a concept plan, so it may not exactly come together as we like, but it really depends on the community, the investors, partners, and how this all kind of plays together. Everybody's got input, so someone might come up with a better idea than doing something I've suggested, and that's what we'll run with.
Yeah.
That did Liberty Station is our architect.
Oh, okay.
So he really knows how to repurpose and reuse, and that's a historical site, so he had to be real careful how he did all that. So they're a really good master planning architect. So it's good to have their experience.
Yeah.
Traffic is the big concern, and we understand that. But the goal is to find some ways to mitigate that. The reality is this property is going to be something someday. And so I'd much rather, I've lived here all my life, is have it be something like this than, an Amazon distribution center or a industrial space or trucks coming in and out and all that kind of stuff.
Well, and we're also hungry for all these things.
Yes.
And we long for it, but there's got to be that give and take,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, exactly. So, it's choose what traffic we like here, and if we have this type of community partnership going, then hopefully it's actually serves the community. So then maybe there's, you drove from your house to here, but you didn't drive in and out of the community 4 times that day.
Yep.
So does that help everyone? I think so, right?
Yeah, it takes away 4
trips.
Yeah, 4
trips
for family.
Exactly. And if I came in to get my kid, I got him here instead, that's a whole trip I saved. Right? And now they're spending money in San Marcos and investing in San Elijo and something.
Yeah.
edenpark.global, and that's not a www, so just put edenpark.global in, so that you can kind of check out real basic info. It's basically that marketing package that I showed you right now.
Okay.
Because everything's conceptual right now, it's really unclear. So when entitlement, the way it works is we plan for lots of uses, hoping that we get, some of them to work.
Yeah.
So we'll have a plan that allows for all kinds of things on the property, and then let's see what the market dictates, what people want, what the need is out in the community. So that's how.
The time to
Sure.
sit with us.
Oh, of course.
Out of your
Absolutely.
day.
Yeah.
I'm very
No
grateful.
problem. Of course.